But I had those around the walk in the front yard, and I tore them all out and had to do something with them. So I built that thing. And my shoulder hurts really bad. So when Dora was home this last 2 weeks, I got her to help me move them blocks. Those blocks. What else has happened?
My neighbor does a lot of like plants and gardening stuff.
Does he?
Yeah, she so yesterday she does this big plant sale and she probably sells 10,000 plants.
Really?
From her front yard. Like,
Oh
the
man!
driveway, the whole thing's
What
covered.
little seedling baby?
Babies and then big babies.
He's coming in. Ruby said, "Daddy, you're way overdressed for this church." She said, "For a normal Protestant church, it would have been okay, but this won't work."
Good morning. My name is Brad Korb, and my pronouns are he and him, and I am your pulpit host today. On behalf of this congregation, welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville. We acknowledge that we are on traditional territory of native tribes. Whether you have joined us online or you are here in our sanctuary, we are glad to have you with us in this sacred time we choose to be together. Our congregation is served by our minister, the Reverend Jamie Simon. She is available for pastoral care or to answer questions about Unitarian Universalism. She may be reached at minister@uuch.org. If you are a newcomer, please sign our guest book in the foyer to receive our weekly email newsletter. And please take a moment now to silence your electronic devices. But don't silence yourself or the people around you. The joyful and maybe not so joyful noises of children and adults are always welcome here. If you have a joy or sorrow or important milestone that you would like shared during a circle of candles and included in the pastoral prayer, please write it on one of the white cards found in the hymnal rack in front of you. It looks like that. And then as we do our offering later, you can put those white cards in the offering baskets. For community news and events, check our email newsletter, website, and the announcement section of your order service. And this week, I just wanted to do one reminder that you should have all received an email from the church related to ministerial and staff evaluations. We encourage everyone to follow the links on that and fill out the survey so that our ministerial and staff can better serve the congregation. After our service, everyone is welcome to join us in the fellowship hall for coffee and snacks and special activity today. 2 of them, actually. Now I would like to invite Zach Morgan to ring the singing bowl and help us enter into the space more deeply. Finally, having gathered in a shared quest for truth, meaning, and purpose, let us light our chalice with these words. As we light this chalice in celebration of Earth Day, may we remember that the oxygen being burned by the candle is the same oxygen that we breathe and the same oxygen that was produced by our trees. May we remember that the water that fell from the sky last night is the same water that fills all of our bodies and hydrates all life forms. May we remember that the food we eat came from the same earth that provides food for all living beings. You see, we are in the earth, and the earth is in us. As we light this chalice, may we remember that we are one with the earth, and may we protect her in gratitude. And now, to help center yourself and quiet your mind, we will have our music for centering, followed by our thread song, number 398.
Well, good morning, friends. Good morning. Welcome in. My name is Reverend Jamie Simon. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and it is my privilege each week to welcome you here to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville. I'm so glad you're here this morning. As we begin, let's settle our hearts and minds with these words from Shirley Ann Rank. Committed to respond to the call of a wounded world, we join together this day with loving hearts, hands, and minds. Embracing the interconnected web of water, air, and earth, we light a fire of sustaining hope, ever bright with love and justice, to create a new world not of wealth but of well-being, a world of peace and abundance for all. And we give thanks for this earth, our shared and singular home. May we dedicate ourselves to its ongoing care. Now I invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn this morning. If you were here last week, you learned it with us. It's called Seed of Hope, and the words are in your order of service. Let's sing together.
There's a seed of hope in my soul, a little seed of hope in my soul. Gonna tend it every day so that it grows strong. Oh, this I pray. Then that seed of hope soon will bloom in my soul. There's a seed of joy in my home, a little seed of joy in my soul. Gonna tend it every day so that it grows strong. Oh, this I pray. Then that seed of joy soon will bloom in my soul. There's a seed of peace in my soul, a little seed of peace in my soul. Gotta tend it every day so that it grows strong. Oh, this I pray. Then that seed of peace will bloom in my soul. There's a seed of hope in my soul, a little seed of hope in my soul. Gonna tend it every day that it grows strong. Oh, this I pray. Then that seed of hope soon will bloom in my soul.
Beautiful. Friends, as we finish our opening hymn, it's our tradition to sing our doxology. Those words are in English and in Spanish. They're printed on that blue card in your pew back. And then we speak of our words of aspiration. And when we get there, we turn and face each other to speak those words as words of promise in community. Let's sing. The spirit of this church. May the quest for truth be its sacrament, and service be its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to help one another in fellowship, this is our aspiration. You may be seated. Once again, good morning, friends. This morning, thank you. This morning, we have the special privilege and great joy of welcoming 13 new members into our beloved community here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville. Woohoo, indeed. These new members and their children and their families and their willingness to commit themselves to our congregation, our mission, and our covenant is a sign of hope and growth as we continue to build the beloved community together. New members, we are so glad to have you and to let you know of your newfound joys and responsibilities as members of our church. As members, you are eligible to help guide the future of our congregation through leadership on teams and committees and by voting at annual meetings and special meetings throughout the year. You're entitled to ministerial care in celebrations of rites of passage in your life, like weddings, child dedications, memorial services. And you are responsible for our church's future through gifts of time and talent and treasure. In joining us, you join the whole Unitarian Universalist Association. You'll receive our UU World magazine, and you're invited to take part in all the programs and opportunities that our UUA has to offer. And most of all, when you join us, you change us, and we are all the better for all that you bring to our community. Thank you for joining us. And now I invite you to come forward and gather in front of the bowl of stones and water. And Pam will introduce you, and when it's your turn to come to the center, so I can give you some gifts this morning, which will include our Unitarian Universalist pocket guide, as well as this snazzy tote bag. Thanks, friends.
Good morning, everyone. Is this on? Good morning.
Yep, you're on.
Now I'm on, okay. My name is Pam Korb, and I'm the membership chair here at this church. And it's my distinct privilege this morning to introduce all our new members to you with a brief bio. New members, as I call your names, please walk to the table at the center where Jamie is. She'll be giving you a welcome and some gifts. And then after you get your gifts, move across to the other side where you will either sit or stand in that area in front of the piano. In congregation, if you could hold all your applause to the end, that'd be great. And by the way, we have two of our new member families are ill today, but I'm still going to introduce them at the appropriate time so that you'll know who they are even if you don't see them today. All right, first I'd like to introduce Robert Farrell. Robert, he is the founder of the online new monastic community called Contemplative Interbeing. He is a contemplative guide, an interspiritual minister, an integral psychologist who enjoys exploring connecting between neuropsychology and spirituality. He's also a certified trainer in nonviolent social change, good thing to know, and an FAA certified drone pilot. Somehow that doesn't fit in with the rest, but anyway. Yeah. So welcome, Robert. And next, in absentia, we're going to welcome Lisa and Philip Green and their daughter, Florence. Florence is the one under the weather, and they might all be exposed to whatever it is. Anyway, they both grew up in Huntsville, and then after living elsewhere, they made their way back home with baby Florence and dog Ava in tow. Florence is 4 years old and a ball of energy. She loves to sing, tell stories, and give her dog lots of belly rubs. Lisa enjoys reading, spending time outdoors, and trying out new craft projects when she has time. Philip works in digital marketing and loves playing the guitar, traveling, and finding new restaurants to try out. Personal thing I like to do too. So welcome to the Green family. They should be here next week, so y'all welcome them then. Next, let's welcome Lee Hefner and Nancy Watson. Nancy's career included teacher, school counselor, and private practice therapist. In her 50s, she met Lee, and now they've been married for 23 years. They moved to Huntsville 7 years ago and are grateful to have found this church. Nancy enjoys spending time in nature, reading, connecting with others, and hearing their stories. Lee enjoyed a diverse career in the music, aerospace, and publishing industries. Yes, that's very diverse. Anyway, in 1999, he met Nancy, and together they partnered in a publishing and consulting business in the field of family and marriage relationships. So y'all talk to them if you're having difficulties in your relationship. He enjoys exercising and being in nature, loves history, technology, and spending time with Nancy. They both enjoy playing with their dog, Donovan. So welcome Lee and Nancy. Next, let's welcome Susan Jackson. Susan has lived many places, including Madison, West Virginia, here once before, Florence, Alabama, and then finally she's back here. Her career included 50 years in education, first as a classroom teacher, then as a school psychometrist, which I had to look up. I had to Google because I didn't know what a psychometrist was. She enjoys attending the Huntsville Senior Center, taking wonderful trips, and participating in exercise classes. Welcome, Susan. Next, let's welcome Heath Kinzer. Heath is also a Huntsville native who studied anthropology. He now owns a pressure washing and Christmas lights business. So you know who to call for those things. He is interested in meditation, biking, and national parks. He says to be sure to say hey to him at Porch Fest in 5 Points on Saturday, May the 2nd. Hours are from 2 to 9. Welcome, Heath. Next, let's welcome Laura Leiter. Laura is a former labor and delivery nurse. She is the grandmother of several grandkids, ranging in age from twin 9-month-olds through college. She previously attended the Bowie, Maryland UU Fellowship for about 10 years. So welcome, Laura. Excuse me. Next, we're going to welcome Doak Mansfield in absentia. Many of you have seen Doak since he's been back with us. He was raised in Lincoln County, Tennessee, and early religious growing ups were in Southern Baptist churches, Church of Christ, and United Methodist. He became a UU while he was in the United Methodist Seminary. He has served 8 congregations in 6 states over 52 years until his recent retirement, including our church for 15 years. Y'all, I don't normally talk this much. Anyway, Doak is a 2010 heart transplant recipient. He's the father of 2 sons, one of whom is now deceased. He and Kathy Fisher, who's a member here, were married this past October here at church. He draws caricatures and portraits, enjoys writing, and is a Cincinnati Reds fan. So y'all welcome Doak when you see him next. Next, let's welcome Zach Morgan. Zach came to us from the UU Fellowship in Auburn. He works as an engineer with NASA on the ECLIS program, which stands for Environmental Control and Life Support Systems. He describes his role as a glorified plumber. He has been married to wife Anna, who's here today. Hi, Anna. For about a year. They have 2 dogs, Oren and Oscar. In Zach's spare time, he enjoys playing guitar and writing. Welcome, Zach. Next, let's welcome the Phelps family. Amber, Dustin, and daughters Penelope, Aurora, and Tilly, who may have gone to the nursery. Amber homeschools their girls. She has also been a surrogate for a family in Michigan. That little girl is now turning 4. She used to have her own hair salon before COVID hit. Penelope enjoys doing aerial silks. Her favorite color is blue, and she's growing out her hair to donate it to a child in need. Aurora enjoys tap dancing, theater, and soccer, loves climbing trees and having pen pals. Tilly, who is 2 and had a lot of energy earlier, loves watching Blippi and eating ice cream. Dad, Dustin, has been a vegan for about 6 years. His passion is learning new things. He wants to be a good example for his kids and make the world a better place. So welcome to the Phelps family. And finally, not least but not last anyway, last but not least, hi Lacey, yeah. Yeah, I had that totally wrong. Lacey was born and raised in Alabama, but spent 5 years in Maryland after graduating college. She began attending this church in November 2024 after moving to Huntsville to be closer to family following her dad's unexpected death. Lacey is a technical editor for an Army contractor on the Arsenal. She enjoys traveling, reading, writing, thrifting, crafting, archery, and spending time with her 2 cats, Rocket and Nessie. Welcome, Lacey. I personally want to thank all of our new members for choosing this church. Thank you in advance for all your upcoming involvement in our congregation by attending services, volunteering your time, talents, and financial resources. We really appreciate everything you bring to the table. Rev Jamie, I'll turn the program back over to you now.
Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome.
I think this is a good enough time to clap. Let's do a first clap now. Do you want to clap for these fabulous folks? New members, your presence among us is a blessing. May you find joy in this community. May you speak your truth and the truth with love. May your spirit grow and inspiration find you. This morning, we welcome you into our shared covenant, the promises that we make and keep and hold in this community. And so I have some words for you to say as you enter into this promise with us. If you commit today to joining us with an open mind and loving heart, will you, our newest members, please speak the words of commitment found in your order of service. Finding our spirits kindred with yours, we enter into covenant with the members of this congregation. Along with you, we will give the gifts of our time, our financial support, our talents, and ourselves as together we work to fulfill the mission of this church. Thank you very much. Now, the rest of our members, I invite you to rise in body or rise in spirit if you commit to welcoming these new members. Will you speak your words of affirmation that are in the order of service together? We, the members, welcome you into covenant with us in this church community. We value the commitment you have made to the high ideals of liberal religion and to the mission of this church. You have joined with us in our efforts to support the life and work of this congregation, recognizing both the privileges and responsibilities of membership. Together, we will strive to build a caring, responsible, and respectful environment as we search for meaning and value, find joy in being together, and seek to serve each other and our wider world. Welcome. Friends, we receive you with open hands and hearts. As you join us, we once again renew our commitment to this congregation. We're so proud to have you as members, and let's welcome them one more time with a big round of applause. All right, friends, you can go back to your seats now, and I'd like to invite forward any children and youth who'd like to come forward for the Story for All Ages this morning. Good morning. It's so good to see you here this morning. So today we're talking about the Earth and Earth Day, and I wanted to talk about how we relate to the Earth. But first I wanted to ask you a question. Did you know that there are trillions of little tiny creatures living inside your body? Did you know that? They're called microbiota, and they're so tiny that to them, you and your body are like a whole planet. So to my microbio, I am Planet Reverend Jamie, and you are Planet Maggie, and you are Planet Saoirse, and you are Planet Phoenix, and you are Lucas, right? Am I right? You are Planet Lucas. Yes, I got them all right. Okay, perfect. You're all planets, right? Isn't that so fun? Microbes are so tiny that you can't see them, and you can't hear them, and you can't feel them when they move around, but and you can't feel them when they move around, and one microbe all by itself can't do too much, right? They live on your planet body and depend on you for their lives, but your planet body also depends on them to stay healthy. If the microbiota are out of balance, you're more likely to get sick. We had some friends who weren't able to be here this morning because they were feeling sick. Have you guys ever been sick before? Yeah, you ever felt kind of cruddy, gotten sick at school? Yeah, this happens, right? And it's because, the germs and the bacteria and all the little tiny creatures that live in and inside your body were a little out of whack, right? And in general, if you're healthy, if you're feeling good today, you can thank all those trillions of little tiny creatures for working together and keeping things in balance for you. So we can think that our bodies are like a planet, but we can also think that our planet is like a body. And people are like the microbiota on the earth. So that means I'm microbe Reverend Jamie, and you're microbe Maggie, and you're microbe Saoirse, and you're microbe Phoenix, and you're microbe Lucas. Are you a tiny, tiny microbe? And most of the time, our Earth is so big, and we are so tiny in comparison, that we don't even notice how much we depend on our planet for. But we know that we depend on the planet for the air we breathe, and the food we eat, and the water we drink. And just like the microbes in our bodies, our planet also depends on us. Just like your body depends on the microbiota to stay balanced and healthy, our planet Earth depends on people to stay balanced and healthy. And you probably know that our planet Earth is not particularly balanced or healthy right now. Do you all know that? Do we know that there's problems with pollution and there's problems with things going wrong in the environment? Does that sound like something you know? You've heard of that before? Something called climate change is happening and it's making the earth sick. Yeah. And so if we remember that we are like little microbes, but we're all connected on this planet body, keeping it healthy, we can remember that working together, it is our responsibility to put everything back in balance and to help our earth be healthy again. Do you guys have any ideas on how a person might do that? Do you know how to make the earth healthy? What do you think, Lucas?
I think that by
Picking up litter, that's a great one. Anybody else have an idea? What do you think, Saoirse? Donating food helps our people be healthy, and people who are healthy are able to help the earth. Do our grown-ups have any ideas of ways to take care of our earth? You guys know. Come on. Who's got an idea? Miss Jess, what do you think? Recycling is a good idea. What do you think, Laura? Repurpose things? Yep. I heard Lacey likes to thrift. That's a good way to take care of the earth. What do you think, Eleanor? Plant trees, absolutely. And you know what else? We can call our Congress people and our representatives and tell them and remind them that it's really the big corporations that are making the worst impact to this microbiota, and they need to get their act together in that respect. Other ideas? We can vote, absolutely. What do you think, friend? Electric cars, yeah, that's a good way to do it. I drive one, it's great. Gas mileage is wonderful. So this morning, I just wanted to remind you that even though we're all just one small person on this planet, we're part of a big system that can make a big impact. And I thought we might do something kind of fun to show everybody else here that we're all part of one big system and we can all make a big impact together. And so I'm going to need the choir to start it first because you're behind me, actually. but we're going to do a wave all the way down the congregation. So can I get my back row altos and basses to start a wave, and then we'll wave it up all the way down the congregation? Woo! All right, can you jump up? Woo! All right, can we do one more? All right. Ah, great work. And just remember, when you feel like you're just one drop in the ocean, we are all part of one big wave that can make a difference. And now the grown-ups are going to sing you off to your classes. As we leave this friendly place,
We are the Unitarian Universalist Church of Huntsville, a proudly inclusive spiritual community. Together, we build a broader search for meaning, a bolder form of compassion, and a braver voice for justice. At this time, we invite you to support our mission with a monetary contribution. You may donate online using the QR code in your order of service, or you may put cash or check donations in the offering baskets. Completed circle of candle cards, these white cards, should also be placed in the offering baskets. You're also invited to come forward during this time and quietly drop a stone into the bowl of water next to the ramp in honor and memory of what you hold in your heart. With gratitude, we now receive the offering.
Friends, will you join me now in a time of meditation, reflection, and prayer? Great Spirit, as we gather, we set our intentions. May the world live as one. May we hold each other in this living. May we be a united community, able to heal what needs healing, to care for what needs caring. This morning, we hold together the joys and sorrows that we share with one another. I'd like to share in joy for those who recognize this day. Later this spring, we know that there is Mother's and Father's Days, but today, on the third Sunday in April, the LGBTQ community celebrates Non-Binary Parents' Day. We send our love and gratitude to non-binary people, the Babas and Zazis and others who nurture and bring up their children with love as expansive and creative as they are. Our friend Kent DeJong shares in joy that he finished a 10K up Cecil Ashburn, over and down, and then up and over and down again. Cars are way easier. And as we hold that joy with him, Kent also shares a concern with us, a sorrow for their fur baby, Zoe. She's in the hospital, and we hope to have her home as soon as she's able. Healing energy to Zoe this week. We also send prayers of healing to our friend Doak, who was supposed to be here to join us, but was under the weather. Prayers of healing his way. And Jessaliah asks us to send healing energy to little Georgia, who fell this week and broke her wrist. Luckily, it's stable, no cast needed, just a brace, and she's doing well in adjusting to using her left hand. Jess also wants to lift up that it's the 3-year anniversary of her mother's passing, and we hold her in that remembrance. Joy and sorrow together knit us into community. May we be thoughtful of the ways that our actions impact those around us. May we remember that even in our joy, there is sorrow in our neighbors' hearts, and on the days of our sorrow, there is joy too, that it comes and goes, ebbing and flowing like the waves of community. For all of this, for all of the prayers we send, spoken and unspoken, let us say blessed be and amen, and sing together our responsive music. It's number 1009 in the Teal hymnal if you need it. Meditation on breathing. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Now invite Brad Korb forward to share our reading this morning.
This reading was written by Nisha Adeli. Nisa is a South Asian poetry doctoral student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. She wrote this poem to explore the stuckness and helplessness she feels living in this time of climate devastation and loss. It resonated with us this week. Maybe it will resonate with you too. I sniffed the blooming tiger lily. 2 tongues sprung open from one mouth. I poisoned the river unintentionally. I walk on designated paths. I spliced the mountain, its body and mouth gaping. I collect rainwater in a wheelbarrow. I line the whale's belly with gifts until they rupture its stomach. I water the strawberries. Again, I fill my gas tank with dead things, generations spun together until shiny. I feed the ducks fresh lettuce. I accept that my love is a poisonous flower, routinely fatal. I calculate the force of loving in each glittering death. All day on this land, in the deep forest, the electric greens and still wet mud writhe with life. The pond gurgles and whispers. Everyone here knows to shudder when they see me coming. The mangoes arrive unbruised at the grocery store. The wolves should start running. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the song that the choir is going to sing this morning. The song came from our online Sing Out of Love hymnal and then was arranged by our wonderful choir director, music director. It was written by the UU community minister Everett Howe, who writes that the inspiration for the song comes from being in nature. Hearing the sound of the wind in the pines, feeling that wind as it gusts, resulting in the direct experience of transcending mystery and wonder. You can hear this in the soaring melody and in the rich lyrics.
gorgeous. Do not give, take, step forward, step back, take action, take time for rest. Close your eyes, breathe, center into the joy we still can find here. Friends, today is the closest Sunday to Earth Day, and so we are called to remember the Earth, our one singular planet home, the only place we and everything else we know have to live our lives. Like I told our children this morning, this Earth is like a body. It's connected through intertangling systems where what happens in one place impacts what happens somewhere else. And each of us live upon it like microbiota, each having a small incremental impact. Each part of the larger system that either heals or harms the whole. And each day, we have some measure of choice in how it is we live upon the earth. In 1970, our larger collective conscious was waking up to the realities of climate change, pollution, and environmental collapse. Inspired by the models of student anti-war protests, leaders wanted a movement for nature and environmentalism. A congressman and a student activist worked together to set the agenda and create that first Earth Day. That Earth Day, which became a national success. It inspired about 20 million Americans, which at the time was 10% of the total population of the country, to take to the streets or the parks or the auditoriums to demonstrate against the impacts of 150 years of industrial development, which had left a growing legacy of serious human health impacts. And the hope has always been that this day might break through the clouds of individualism and human supremacy and remind us all of the deep, abiding truth that we belong to one another and that we belong to the earth, not the other way around. I hope this day does for you today. I hope you feel yourself both alive and part of something larger and living. I hope you understand yourself to be both singular and interwoven, responsible for your own actions and also deeply, blessedly interconnected. And I hope that your knowing about the earth and about the struggles of our climate moves from head knowledge to heart knowledge. I hope it changes you for the kinder and more collaborative. This week I've been reading a beautiful book by Victoria Lours. It's called Church of the Wild: How Nature Invites Us into the Sacred. Victoria is a Christian pastor who, after about 20 years of pastoring indoor churches, she calls them, and doing youth environmental activism, she founded a new movement of wild outdoor worship communities centered in respect and connection to nature. This is a passage from her book. The layers of crisis and cruelty we face will not be solved with technological, political, or economic strategies alone. A deeper transformation of heart is necessary to welcome in a new story. Moving away from a worldview and way of life that treats others as a collection of objects towards a new way of being that participates honorably in a vast communion of subjects is what Thomas Berry calls the great work. The great work is spiritual at the core, she says. Gus Speth, an environmental attorney, ecologist, and climate activist, has summarized the problem brilliantly. I used to think that the top global environmental problems were biodiversity loss, ecosystem collapse, and climate change. But I was wrong. The top environmental problems are selfishness, greed, and apathy. And to deal with these, we need a spiritual and cultural transformation. He ends with, and we scientists don't know how to do that. And while I think that perhaps is an unnecessary dig at scientists, I think the insight is true. The problem is, of course, ecosystem collapse and climate change, But these are symptoms of a system of human beings who are operating with selfishness, greed, and apathy as their guideposts. We see this most clearly when we look at who is most impacted by climate change right now. It's not wealthy Europeans and white North Americans who are feeling the change. It's 600 million people in Bangladesh likely to lose their homes and communities from rising floodwaters. It's communities around the Niger Delta reeling from the impacts of spilt oil. It's water shortages in Yemen that make war conditions that much more brutal. It's Black neighborhoods in Tennessee and Mississippi being targeted for new data centers and the toxic air and water that come from them. When the systems of greed and apathy allow us to look away, those with less get harmed first, and those with more forget that eventually we'll all be harmed. Activist Rebecca Solnit told this story. Once, the climate activist Bill McKibben was asked a question he'd gotten thousands of times. What's the most effective thing I can do for the climate as an individual, they asked. He answered, stop being an individual. Find something to join, an organization, a movement, a campaign, find a community to work with. That's where you find your power. That right there is Unitarian Universalism to me. Give in to the truth that nothing can be solved alone, that we were never supposed to be singular operators in this web of life. Join a movement of love and compassion, one that puts collective power and healing to work. And start with those most impacted first. Friends, I encourage you to believe this truth, that all of us are connected and that the earth is made sicker or made well by our collective choices. That is, in fact, the seed of hope we sang about, the little seed of hope in my soul that we might one day have a chance at healing this planet. And speaking of seeds of hope and just plain old regular seeds, do y'all know about the Svalbard Global Seed Vault? Right? I learned about this hopeful place recently, and if you haven't heard about it, I want to tell you. So way, way, way off in the middle of the ocean, midway between the tippity top of Norway and the North Pole, there is an archipelago, which is a group of islands called Svalbard. And up there, in the rock and snow and ice of this brutal landscape, there is a warehouse. It's a weird triangular building that juts out of the rock, and inside it, scientists are storing donated seeds from all over the world with the hope to maintain seed diversity for future generations. The scientists there explained that seed diversity increases agriculture's ability to adapt crop production to the climate. Basically, without access to crop diversity, future generations of people aren't going to have enough types of crops that are suited to the way the climate is changing, and we're going to run out of food. And the earth is already losing plant genetic diversity, and so this bank exists as a place of hope for the future. Anyone who works with seeds can box up redundant samples from their area, and I think it's like once a week or once a month, an airplane goes all the way up to Svalbard and drops them off into this freezing warehouse. And there, the samples stay and lay and wait for the world of the future. And there's something basic in this concept, right? We believe all people should have access to food and resource crops, and as the climate changes, the crops need to change with them. We believe that preserving seeds means we'll never lose the possibility of replanting or rebuilding. We believe that even though climate change feels bleak, There are seeds in store waiting for us. Just a plane ride away on a frozen island in the middle of the sea. I hope we won't ever need the seeds waiting in that bank, but I'm glad to know they're waiting for us. I'm glad to know that seeds were made for waiting. In fact, geobiologist Hope Jaron reminds us that a seed inherently knows how to wait. Most seeds wait for several years before they start to grow. A cherry seed can wait for 100 years with no problem. What exactly each seed is waiting for is known only to that seed. Some unique trigger combination of temperature, moisture, light, and other things is required to convince it to take the jump, take its chance, and grow. Friends, the seeds are waiting for us in case we need them, and the seeds are waiting for us not to need them. They're waiting for us to care and act, to see ourselves as microbiota, and to heal the earth together in community. May we take bold collective action now, be that small in our lives, be that large in the ways we advocate for larger cultural change. May we speak into existence a departure from greed and apathy. May we not accept the destruction of some people's climate as long as ours is okay. When the truth is, there's no my climate and your climate. It's all one climate, all ours to save or lose. The message is hard, but the truth is hopeful. So happy Earth Day. May we no longer need this day's reminder, and instead live each day in celebration and love of this earth. May we do the work together. Amen and blessed be. Now I invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing with me our closing hymn. It's number 163 in that gray hymnal, For the Earth Forever Turning.
Let us now extinguish our chalice with these words by Denise Cawley. Love our earth, take action to consume less, use less energy, respect water, and be cooperative, collaborative, and creative community. Like the moss and the mushrooms, our children's lives depend on us.
Friends, our worship service now comes to a close. Thank you for being with us this morning. I will be at the back of the sanctuary to greet you, and everyone is welcome to join us for, I think there's cake in Fellowship Hall, but I don't know yet. Who knows? A great celebration, though. Let us go out remembering that we are connected, that we must act for change and heal this planet that has been made sick by our negligence. May we find seeds of hope waiting deep down in our souls, ready to help us on the way. Amen. Blessed be. Let's go out singing our rite of community. May I be light in you. Amen. Blessed be, and go in peace.